Let's get started. Welcome everyone to ForceForward. This is our new business series where we're going to be talking about what business looks like tomorrow. Our first guest, very special guest, Josh Wand, CEO and founder of ForceBrands, joining me from Long Island. How are you doing today, Josh?
I'm doing well. I'm working in the kitchen with my two kids right next to me while we're homeschooling.
So you got out of the city just in time.
We did. It's a whole new experience. It's good to be outside of the city and a little bit closer to the family.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, I really wanted to take the time to connect. There's a lot of narratives in the news right now that are not so positive, and there's a lot of narratives that aren't being told. So, for example, in China, you're seeing schools open up, you're seeing restaurants open up. People are slowly getting back to normalcy. You're not seeing that so much over here. I really want to zoom in on CPG. So tell me a little bit about what you're seeing, some positive momentum, brands, companies making a difference.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, there's no question that these are uncharted waters and really challenging times, but there's always positivity and there's always a bright light. And one of the benefits that we've always had is working with amazing consumer brands. And those are things that you eat and drink and put on your body: food, beverage, beauty, personal care, pet, cannabis. And as people hunker down and they're in their homes, unfortunately, they're not going out to bars and restaurants, which is really sad for an industry and a horrible thing. They are home and they're stocking up. And very often they're hoarding, which might be a little excessive, but they're buying things that are shelf stable, and they're buying things that are healthier, and they're feeding their families. And some of these consumer brands, these mid-size and larger companies are really growing, but they're having to rethink their supply chain. They're having to go direct to consumer. They're thinking about new innovative ways to go to market. So there's actually a lot of opportunity to work with these companies. They're still hiring. Now, everyone is panicked because we all never expected this to happen. No one knows how to handle this. But the reality is there are opportunities, and you just have to be really thoughtful about the right type of organizations and the right type of people you're hiring. And we find that the people are really open right now to helping each other.
So what are you seeing in terms of maybe roles opening up? Are you seeing increase in demand among e-commerce roles at this executive level? What does the hiring landscape look like?
Very much so. Is points of distribution shut down? Is certain retail trade channels shut down? Having a direct relationship with the consumer is more and more important than ever. So companies are having to build out or reimagine their performance marketing, their whole digital strategy, their e-commerce play, where they're getting products. If they were getting products in China or packaging materials, they have to re-envision how that supply chain works. And they're able to bring people on a consultative basis, advisory project work, because everyone's working remotely. It's really such an incredible thing. I was never a big fan of working remotely before because I'm all about culture and working in a big office where everyone's connected. And everyone was kind of pulling at me, remote. Well, guess what? I've been doing it for about 2 weeks and I'm bought in. And I do believe that even though we're so disconnected right now because we're in our own homes with our families, we're more connected with our families and our core group than ever before. But I've had more Zoom calls and more Skype calls than I've ever had in my life with people whose faces I normally don't see. So even though I might not be right next to them having a cup of coffee, it kind of feels like I am. And I feel really connected to people. And companies are going to redevelop and redesign themselves for the future. And, it's really an incredible time, an incredible opportunity for those that are able to see it.
I know culture is always so important to you, and you do consider yourself motivator in chief at times. I think that's been on your LinkedIn and your email title for some time now. But speaking of motivation, how do you as a leader kind of cultivate not only this culture and sense of community, but how do you remain agile and motivate your team to make these pivots and transitions in today's climate?
A lot of self-health and a lot of mental, spiritual work at the beginning of the day. It's tough. I mean, it's tough being in a house, when you're used to going out every day. It's amazing to be with your kids, and it's tough to work at a kitchen table. It's hard to be confined to a single space and be quarantined, but I personally find one of the things that really helps me is every morning I have a routine, and I write my gratitude book. I have the little meditation in 30 minutes. I have my cold brew coffee. I eat clean. I make sure that every morning we have stand-ups with our teams. In the afternoon, we have stand-ups, but it's really task oriented. So we have plenty of time to talk about what's really happening in our lives. And it's incredible when, a child or a dog sits on someone's lap. You're like, I never even knew what your kid looked like. I never even knew you had two dogs. I never knew what your living room looked like. So it's such an incredible, like space to be in right now. As much as we feel disconnected, I feel more connected than ever. But I find that if I go through my routine of exercise, of whatever your form of meditation is, and I focus on what I put in my body, I'm able to stay connected to people and keep the right type of vibration where I feel positive. And if I feel positive, other people are going to feel positive. And our whole mentality right now is just help one more person get a job. Just help one more person. There's so many people out of work, and it's not due to performance. It's not due to the fact they did anything wrong. This is a macroeconomic situation that no one really ever saw coming or had control of. So, you know what? If we can help one more person, it feels good. And if you feel good and you help someone, they're going to do something good. And we just pass it on. And I've been sharing that with my team, and kind of they own it, and they're sharing it with people they come in contact with, and it's going to make a big difference. It really is.
Yeah, definitely. And you're no stranger to leading in times of crisis. I mean, ForceBrands was founded around 2008. So you've endured that. You've endured living in Lower Manhattan during Hurricane Sandy, and bringing a lot of team members remote. So is there any lesson that you can kind of tell other brand founders, leaders in the space about what it's like to lead during a crisis and things that they can lean on, maybe any resources or tips?
Yeah, I mean, connect with other founders that are going through it or have been through it before. Like, we've never experienced anything like this. We've never been on a shutdown. We've never been quarantined in my lifetime, and it's really hard. And there's emotional baggage that comes with it, and there's a lot of uncertainty. And it's okay to feel it. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to not know. It's okay to be real with yourself and say, I don't know if my business is going to get through this, but you will get through it if you're really thoughtful and you plan. And sometimes you have to take drastic measures and things that, you would normally never do in order to survive, but you got to remain human. You have to be authentic. You have to be real with the challenges you're facing. If you're a founder or leader, you have people that have dedicated their lives to come work for you or with you. You got to be honest with them. Here's what's going on. There's a major situation right here in our supply chain is crushed, or our cash flow is, we're really, really, really in a difficult time right now. We could potentially be out of money. Here's what we need to do to make changes. And those who actually lean in and get on their toes and don't stand back on their heels and wait to see what happens, those are the ones that actually get through, because you have to rise up during these times. Like, there will be bright light. There will be sunshine again. People will go to bars and restaurants. They will go work out again in a gym. They will be outside again. So we have to know that's going to come. But now is an incredible opportunity to plan and to think things through and to say, how is my business going to look when the world opens up again? Because it will open up, and it'll be a different world. Everyone says a new norm. We don't even know what the new norm is yet. It'll be different because it's always evolving. The only constant is change. But how do you change? How do you change as a leader? How do you get your team to adopt that? How do you evolve? And I find that the ones that hunker down, that really think things through and say, all right, team, let's put this together and let's go fast. Those are the ones that come out on the other side of this. That's why Airbnb was amazing. They were built during the recession. I started an employment, recruitment platform during a recession, and we came out just fine. And we'll be on the other side of this too, but it doesn't mean it's not hard. It's supposed to be hard, but no one ever remembers the blowout that was, 15-0. People remember the comeback that went to double overtime. And when you go to double overtime and everyone comes together and everyone's more resourceful and everyone's in it as a team and not individually, that's when you got something special. And that's when teams get stronger. That's when companies get stronger. That's when people are more conditioned. And that's when they come on the other side as better organizations and better people that value each other more. And that's really, we're going through it right now. And it's incredible. We have a stand up this morning. It's tough, but guess what? Every day we get better. When people are positive, and when someone's down, we pick them up. And it's, I believe these are the special times. And when you're at the top of the mountain, you know, high-fiving, those are the times you remember. You remember the struggle to get there, and everyone's struggling right now. It's not just you. You're not alone. So make sure to stay connected, stay clean, you know, keep your mind clear, and make sure that you're making the right thoughtful human decisions, because it will pass. It's going to be really challenging.
Definitely. And there's just a ton of uncertainty right now, and obviously market volatility because of this health crisis. Looking into your crystal ball, should young emerging players, young brands, with not as high of revenue as some of the bigger players, should they be looking actively at restructuring their teams, planning ahead for the next 6 months, 12 months? What proactive steps should these younger brands be taking now in terms of hiring and team building?
Well, yeah, I absolutely believe so. And there's different ways to build teams. You can do it with, you know, a remote team. You can do it with people that might not be, you know, full-time dedicated resources in certain areas, and, you know, that are willing to collaborate with you, which can be really special. You know, I believe that, you know, there's an incredible opportunity right now for emerging brands. You've got to really be disciplined with your cash. You have to really be conscious of your money. The days of just top line growth and trying to get to $50 million as fast as possible at all costs, you know, with low gross margins and crazy cash burn, that's much less attractive these days. That was less attractive before COVID. Now, I mean, it's really challenging unless it's such a compelling story and it's such proprietary technology that no one else could ever replicate. And still, you know, you really want to build a sound business. So basic business principles are more important than ever. If you're an entrepreneur that has an idea and you don't have 30 employees, guess what? You're not going to burn a lot of cash. Now's the time to innovate. Now's the time to do incredible things. If you're a company that just raised capital, well, guess what? Make sure you go through with your plan, but be really thoughtful. Some of those things you were going to do, some of the spend that you were going to allocate, maybe you pull back for 60 days to see how things happen. You know, maybe you're more resourceful with the team that you have right now. Maybe there's a couple areas you had to hire someone before and now you don't, but there's a new area where you do. So make sure you readjust and reorganize your company, and make sure that you are thinking about what your business is going to need in 6 months. But cash planning is really important, and actually make sure you got the right people around you. It doesn't mean you need to have more. It might be less, but you might need the right strategic people that are actually wartime executives. There's a difference. There's a difference between peacetime CEOs and executives and wartime CEOs and executives. Peacetime CEOs and executives are great when everything's shiny. Who are the people next to you that you want to have with you when things aren't so bright? And those are the ones that you can go to war with, and those are the ones you can celebrate with. And guess what? It's not a war with people. It's just a war to survive. So getting the right people around you now, sometimes less is more, but Strength is really important. And people that be just conscious of your vulnerabilities, of your blind spots, where you're weak, and build around it, and be really honest with yourself, because you're going to need it as a founder. I need it. Everyone needs it. And those who are open to that, and if you have peer groups like a EO or a YPO or other, you know, a naturally organization, or, you know, any of those, like, ask people for help.
That's great. Yeah, definitely. So are you a wartime CEO or are you a peacetime CEO?
I'm a wartime CEO.
Yeah.
I'm a peaceful warrior and I'm a spiritual guy, but guess what? I'm absolutely a wartime CEO, and I know it. This is when I have the clearest mind. This is when I can see things and I understand exactly, when everyone else is freaking out, what an opportunity looks like. It doesn't mean I'm not nervous, but this is when I actually allow myself to get really calm and say, now's an opportunity. And I'm in a challenging market. When Asher, could you do me a favor, buddy? I'm actually on an interview right now, and that's my 6-year-old. So yeah, I'm totally a wartime CEO because I love the challenge, and I love to drive people, and I'll enjoy the peace after this tumultuous ride. But I thrive and opportunities when my back's against the wall, that's when I think the clearest. And that's when I'm really, that's when I say, okay, let's go. And I'll rally the troops and the team to get going. And it drives me every morning. It's what it motivates me. It inspires me. And I'm really driven to just show that regardless of the adversity, regardless of the challenges, that we're going to get through it. Not just get through it, but we'll actually be stronger. We're going to be a better company. Both companies that I operate are going to be much, much, much better and stronger because of this. And we're going to have to work really hard to do it. I mean, working around the clock now. In the mornings, everyone's on Zooms at 11 o'clock at night. Kids are jumping in and out. Dogs are jumping in and out. Like, it's crazy. People in their pajamas. Who cares? It doesn't matter what you're wearing. It matters what you bring. And if you bring your A game and you're passionate about it and you're thoughtful about it, you're going to win.
That's great. I like the clarity in crisis. I'll make sure to only interview you now during times of global pandemics and crisis.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm just having a glass of wine and I think we're awesome. Like, what gets accomplished then? Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I do want to touch upon, before we wrap things up, I want to touch upon some of the tough questions that people have been asking in related to hiring. And obviously, you are such a hiring master. With regards to being remote and adjusting to these virtual workspaces, are people still hiring without that in-person interview?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. I mean, our retained practice and our board building practice is stronger than ever. Some of the biggest hires that we've worked on in a long time are being made right now because they need real leaders. Now they're spending a lot of time doing this, a lot of Zoom, a lot of FaceTime, but everyone's getting really comfortable with the remote situation. They can't afford to put their businesses on pause. And they're actually really open to, people talk about remote work. Am I comfortable with it? I'm not. No one knows if this is going to be 2 months or 6 months working this way. So people are not willing to put their business on pause, especially at the executive strategic level, C-suite, board, VP level. That is critically important. And we're seeing that quite a bit. We're seeing a lot of the field sales, and the field marketing go on pause just because of the quarantine. They can't be out in the field doing their job. So that's really challenging. So that's being reappropriated a lot to trade into digital, but that'll come back. That'll come back over time. When, we're not sure, but it will come back, and people will want to be outside again. So yeah, we're still seeing, we're seeing a lot of people panic and put roles on pause, and we're saying, hey, listen, you don't have to hire tomorrow, but it's an excellent time right now to actually get to know people in their own living room. Do Zoom calls, do 3 of them, do 4 of them, get to know them. They actually have time. People aren't so busy right now. So you can actually tee yourself up right now and get to a position where you guys absolutely want to work together and it's a great fit, and just leave the hire date open-ended when everyone gets back in action. If you want to do a little bit earlier, do it a little bit earlier. You want to push it back a month or 2, that's fine. But take this time to connect and make the decision and actually have your team teed up when you're ready to go. And a lot of companies are saying, you know what? I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to hire these 2 early and I'm going to hold on these 2. Great. You have the opportunity to do that, because once people get back in the mix, they're going to be so busy, they're not going to have any time, and they're going to be panicked to hire. We have to hire now. Now's the time to plan.
Great. I love that. And then just one last remote question in terms of virtual onboarding and creating culture. Are there any tips that you have, because you're so invested and passionate about culture, for integrating these new team members so that they feel like they actually know the business without being among everybody in person?
Yeah, do the things you would normally do, but do it virtually. Like, we had a virtual happy hour last Friday. I think there were 75 people on it. It was supposed to be an hour. Literally, there were people on it for 3.5 hours. I had to bounce out and say, I have to be with my kids. You guys enjoy the cocktails. It's amazing. But we have virtual yoga. But, with all those culture building activities, one of the things that's really important is actually the task orientation. And here's what's going on with my work. And here's how I'm contributing to the greater team. And we do these, we call it Rise and Grind, every morning at 9 and 12, East and West Coast teams. It's really important that we're task focused, because we actually know what everyone is working on. And what I mean by that is, if we know what everyone's working on, then we can help each other. Someone's running into a challenge. Great. I know that person. I'll pick up the phone and help you. Oh, I've been through that dilemma before. Let me help you. So really talking about your work culturally helps. It's not just about my feelings. It's not just about the extracurricular activity. You have to have that too, especially when you're confined to your home. But really, with the work, I know more about what's happening with my colleagues' work in the past 2 weeks than I do in the past year, because we're talking about every day. And when we're talking about every day, we're coming back the next day and saying, here's what I accomplished. These were my challenges. Here's where I need more help. So everyone's really in it helping each other, which culturally is a huge uplift because everyone's performance increases. And then we do the virtual yoga. We have lots of games we play, lots of, there's virtual happy hours. There's so many great things, but I do believe that this will continue past COVID. We will start doing these stand-ups every day. The technology industry has been doing it for years. We just started really incorporating this. And I tell you what, when you know what people are going through and the challenges and you help them with their work, culturally, that's really powerful. And all the extracurricular things are really awesome too. But you got to help lift people professionally in order for them to enjoy all the other stuff. So we're actually doubling down right now on leadership training and coaching more than ever before. I mean, with everything else going on, we've got a whole leadership coaching training curriculum being launched with our remote team in the next 2 weeks, which is going to be killer. So I say in times like this, double down on your people, and make sure the ones that are here, the ones, the group that you're working with, make sure they have as much support as they need, because we all need it. We all need it. So it's something that I think it all adds up. It all adds up. The little things become the big things.
I love that. Anything here that you want to talk about, exciting new launches that you can maybe share?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing a lot of great stuff. We've got we've been working deeply in the pet space for about 3 years, and now based on the COVID, the pet space is like it's such an important piece of everyone's family. It's like the other child, the other family member. So we've been working in the pet space with 30 companies over the past couple of years. Now we're officially launching Pet Force, which will help build executive leadership teams and beyond for the pet industry. And we're really excited about it, very excited about it. We've also got a new HR tech platform that's being launched very soon, with a lot of technology improvements underneath to power and create a better quality experience, user experience for our clients and in the whole ecosystem that we serve. So you're going to see a lot of exciting things happening. But for us, it's all about getting one more person a job. If we can help one more person get a job, we've done something good. And so we're going to up our game. We're going to continue to evolve. We're going to use this time to become more innovative, more thoughtful, and make sure we've got the right strategy in place to execute. But we're going to do it because there's no other option. You either do it or you don't, and we're going to do it.
I love it. This has been a wonderful conversation, Josh. Thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, hashtag one more job. I love that. It's a good campaign to end on. We will be sharing that across all of ForceBrands platforms with you guys next week. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay well, stay healthy. And it was great chatting with you, Josh. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rebecca. Stay healthy.